What all did she give me? Oh, a room key. That's even better. Examining the key and the crystals, he would carefully organize them. After all, he was going to have to gather from his chest soon enough as well. All the crystals that he could get would be beneficial. Time was sadly of the essence, and if Ayala could in fact teleport him, well, that was much less he would have to do. And of course, being able to save his own life was always nice as well. Organize this a little bit. If I remember right, all of these gems can be used. A scroll was also given to him. But he already knows it, so he would have to keep it for later or sell it, as it wasn't the most useful. As well, a key, though he wasn't exactly certain what it was for. Closer inspection revealed that it was the key to Drogon's personal quarters. He'd seen it before. Drogon's room was sure to have more useful items. I think I'll put all the possible quest items down here. I think we could use this for the herbology quests later. I don't remember. It's kind of a blur. And I'll put the key down here too. Or maybe here. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Ignore Rissy fluttering about in the background. I refuse to use that voice every time she talks. With key in hand, Victor would quickly move to the next setting. The room upstairs was sure to have more useful items for them to use. Similarly, he needed to gather his own things from his chest and search the other rooms. He would leave Xanos' things alone, but he was sure Dorna would appreciate having her own items. Curiously, he glanced to the side, recalling the guest bedroom. No one used it, but the door was open for some odd reason. Until the narrator closed it in his face. Curiously, he opened the door. Inside was a book. Oop, up if I didn't close it. A storybook that recounts the adventures of many of Rune's best-known heroes. Jam stains and scribbles render some of the stories almost illegible, and many of the woodcut illustrations have been enhanced with strategically in place mustaches. I would blame Dorna for this. Fish, a bottle, useless, rags, and a top. Interesting. Take these, we could sell them if nothing else. They're only cantrips, but scrolls do tend to sell for a little bit of gold. Every time. After grabbing the scrolls and trying to get out, there we go. He would quickly move on to Dorna's. He had little doubt she would want her things. Oh, I have the key to my footlocker, if you can grab my stuff for me.
Yes? What do you...
Oh wait, I can do that shortcut. It's be a little bit more immersive. Okay, we'll do that. She only has one potion right now too. I might have to fix that. Get her key. Oh, why on earth she's using the short sword? What's her stats like? Does she have finesse? No. Okay. But yeah, Dorna is a rogue cleric. I usually let her stay that way because the only aspects of the rogue that I want her to use are the lockpicking, which usually is done out of combat, and usually that means it doesn't have to be too high because you pretty much, because of how the game mechanics work, you automatically roll a 20 if you're not in combat trying to pick something or disarm a trap and so on and so forth. So she's going to use her battle axe, I think. If she gets finesse, then I'd want her to use her sword and hand axe. And she can keep her short bow just in case something comes up. Alright. A trap and a set of thieves' tools.
Yes?
Certainly something that would be of use for her. No. After handing the things over, he would quickly move on. After all, sadly they didn't have much time to just paddle on about. His own footlocker was next, and he would ignore Misha's as well. He doubted the newest student had anything for him anyway. Gathering the few gems that he'd acquired, as well as his stash of focus crystals. Oh, look at that, 2 rows, nice and neat. All his stored gold from what was left of selling his parents' property and everything related, as well as a single crystal given to him by Drogon. Drogon's last trial for you seemed to be a bit unfair. To test your powers of concentration, Drogon created a situation filled with interesting distractions, including milk, drink, and nudity. In the midst of the distractions, Drogon walked into the room and shouted, "Now!" Immediately you stumbled to your feet, shook your head to clear the cobwebs, and cast a spell. Surprisingly, you cast a spell quickly and efficiently. Then you passed out. When you came to, Dragon handed you this crystal. You stared into it and found your head cleared quickly with your ability to concentrate improved. The crystal can be used once a day in this manner to improve your concentration. That's a neat little thing, especially for a low level, without combat casting and such. Carefully, Victor would strap it to his belt and move on. Finally, Drogon's room. Victor had only come in this room a couple times, and always with Drogon himself. It felt odd, almost invasive to enter the room without the man. But desperate times. The glowing chest certainly caught his eye.
I can't do that.
There are several magical wards on this chest, which you cannot seem to penetrate. Unfortunate, as whatever is in there could certainly help, he had little doubt. Potion of bark skin. Buffing potions are always welcome. Another gemstone that he can possibly use to make more focus crystals. Telescopes and books galore, but nothing of note, nothing powerful enough to be equal to his own that Drogon had given him. Weapon rack. I think he'll take all of this and sell it, because at this point, the more money he has, the better. Except he has little strength, so he will be sharing it with Dorna. Dorna, could you help me carry some of this? Sure, but you may find that some of it be missing later if you catch my meaning. Don't blame me if such a thing happens. That's fine, Dorna. Just so that we can ensure that we get money enough to fund our little trip here. Why on earth did you take these axes? Take these back and put them back. They won't be worth anything anyway. Right you are. Well, every little bit helps, but they are quite heavy for no reason, I suppose. An enchanted helmet. Eyes of the Eagle. This helm mounts 2 special crystal lenses over the wearer's eyes, enhancing their ability to see. Fiercely protected of their borders, the elves of the Moonwood often use these helms to better patrol their borders for marauding orcs and to better aim their bows in the wood's defense. As useful as it is, he dislikes helms, primarily because they hinder his vision. Amusingly, this helm could possibly relieve that. However, it would still limit his field of vision, even if it enhanced his forward vision, as it were. He needed his peripheral much more, especially in the middle of combat, as he had just found out dealing with all the kobolds. Opening one of the barrels, he found what had to be Drogon's store of the crystals. The grinder next to it clearly had been used to make them. For now he'd leave them, though that would definitely ease his concerns. This alchemist lab is where Master Drogon creates the focus crystals that power the rings he gives to his apprentices. He showed you once how to operate it. Leave the lab alone. For now, he would keep the gems as they were. He hadn't expected Drogon to make such an abundance of them. All of this will be useful. Well, not the empty bottle. Don't need that. The rest he'd pocket. Gathering up as many supplies as he could, and making sure to note the details of how many focus crystals were in. That had to be the store that he would give the students as they needed them. Which made sense, I suppose. There was no reason Drogon wouldn't have an abundance of them ready with as many students as he has. Usually they were in charge of making them themselves, but Drogon was a kind teacher. It made sense. And I think I'll give Dorna a shield for now. She does have dual wield, I believe, but ambidexterity, dual wield. Oh, she gets that free. That's nice. Maybe she can use, but she's a little low level for it, though. Yeah, it's not enough. When wearing light armor, get the bandana. What kind of armor is she wearing? Wow, so her attack is just that low? Well, I guess it's because her strength is so low. Okay, that makes sense. Alright. With a pack now full to the brim of weapons and different items, Victor would quickly make his way down. It was good to know about the focus crystals, and now he would have plenty of funds to help make sure they would be fine on their trip. Dorna would certainly need more potions. Before they left, he turned and made sure that she was equipped with everything she would need. Handing off to her several potions more, as well as a large shield that would help her in combat. Her current armor set would do fine, and nothing else immediately came to mind. He would restock her with potions as need be. Tossing some of the heavier items into his pouch that he had bought before leaving. Before leaving his home, sorry, the narrator was multitasking. Satisfied that he was as little weighed down as possible, he would gather what was left of the remains as Ayala sat down on them. Aha. Oh, that's a nice chunk of stuff. That must have been one of the thugs or something. Alright. Bidding them farewell, he would quickly move towards the door, and their new little adventure would begin, crossbow in one hand and his enchanted book in the other. Now, to make it clear, I will not be resting at every opportunity. Oh, hello.
By the blood of the old father!
There we go. Thank you, Dorna. The sting of Harmony's tail, as well as the chop of Dorna's axe, was a surprisingly efficient combination, though when they were flanked it didn't help much having two that could stand in line for him. Thank you, Dorna. It's not your fault that you're a weak little bony lad. Thank you, Dorna. Harmony's low song clarified that she agreed. Not that Victor appreciated such. He wasn't certain where the rats had come from, but they were rats. They didn't really need a reason. Keeping them at bay and making sure that the farm was as safe as possible while Drogon was at his weakest and Aella was preoccupied keeping him alive would be beneficial. He was slightly surprised the local hounds hadn't killed them already, however. These appear to be kobold tracks. Several of them seem to have gone into the barn, but not come out. Well, they all knew what that meant, didn't they? Quickly giving Harmony a little pat on the head and a small snack, recalling that he hadn't had time to give her breakfast this morning, he would prepare himself, wondering how many had slipped inside. Making certain that he had everything he needed and readying a wand, he entered, Dorna quickly stepping forward after him. Okay, so what do we got? A standard kobold and a thug. Alright, well let's put that thug down. Raising his spellbook and releasing its enchantment, a barrage of missiles hit the thug. Go. Oh, good. Guys. AI, work with me here. Appreciate it.
Have at thee!
Thankfully, though Victor was not the best when it came to standard combat, he wasn't horrible with the crossbow. Drogon had been certain to hammer into him that often mages ran out of their spells. Oh, but yeah, I will not be rest spamming because it doesn't make sense. I'm a pen and paper nut. When you rest, you were supposed to be resting for 24 hours, so it will only be in a safe location and will be after a significant amount of time has passed.
I would speak with you a moment.
I suppose I have time right now. What is it? Well, voice acting. Well, it's just that this is a big thing. We're leaving everything behind to find these kobolds and artifacts we don't even know about. I don't even know where to start. All I can think about is Master Drogon lying there. I don't know why you won't face me, but, yeah. He'll be fine. We'll make sure of it. Sure, you progressed farther than all of us, so you're not worried at all. I have a couple doubts, I guess, but I trained hard too. Master Drogon has always been a good teacher. I owe it to him to try my best to help him. Though he doesn't mind her desire for money, he would not be one to add it himself. But he would want to see about these artifacts he kept hidden. But I think he'd focus on Drogon for now. That's all I care about. Though the other artifacts will be useful to learn for, Drogon comes first. We'll help him. Well, don't forget that we'll be on our own soon, and need to think about ourselves too. The odd coin here and there couldn't fall our way. Could fall our way. Narrators don't know what the fuck they're doing still. I feel like that's going to be a running theme. That's the way of Vergadane. A little luck, a little skill, and a little bit of something for yourself in your pocket at the end of the day. We've talked enough, I think. The sooner we head out, the sooner Master Drogon is better, and we can count up the spoils. Let's go. You know, Dorna... Never mind. Perhaps you're a bit more infatuated with coin than I initially had assumed. I just like having a healthy amount of coin in my pocket. It keeps you safe. Helps you solve quite a bit of problems. Not like you can complain, Mr. Rich noble boy. Indeed. I can't argue with you there.
I would speak with you a moment.
Good Lord, Dorna, we just finished talking. Why couldn't we just say it earlier? I just had a flash of memory as we entered Hilltop. It's a lot different now, that's for sure. Kobolds everywhere. Must have been a big fight. He wouldn't blame himself. He's not so childish as to think the world revolves around him. Thank you for your insight. Be quiet now. You can be such a dick. I like that though. I like that they give you those options. I'd have fought hard too. This is their home. I don't think the people had much of a choice. They may have been on their home turf, but I doubt they had Master Drogon's skill to draw on. Nothing they could do but pick up a shovel and hope for the best. Looks like they did alright. Well, relatively. People still died. Maybe there's a few kobolds we can help mop up. Every little bit we can do will help. Good idea. With this many attacking, there'd have to be some hiding somewhere. We'll get our share, I don't doubt. Let's scout around a bit more. We'll fight through a few stragglers and pick up a few coins. All while looking like heroes to the locals. You're not just in this for the gold, are you, Dorna? Of course not, but padding my pockets while helping out doesn't hurt anyone in the least. Come on, let's get moving. We've got a lot to do. Oh, she was certainly correct there. The bodies that littered the ground were less than he'd anticipated, which pointed towards many having escaped, but at least there were a few human casualties as well, it appeared. What you mean, human? Well, people. You know what I mean, Dorna. It's not like I'm Misha. I don't give a damn what race you are. Just work on your wording. Yes, I'll do what I can. Entering the blacksmithy and stepping over the pool of blood, it was clear that Fiona had not been one of the individuals to suffer from the raid. Of course, the great hammer she wielded every day likely helped quite a bit with that.
Hail and well met.
Well, that's not even voice acting. Why'd you even put that there? Oh, our old RPGs. Ah, one of Drogon's students. Always nice to see you, young face in here. Now, which one are you again? Ah, I'm kidding, Victor. Don't get such a sour face. I've not forgotten you. I'm not so old as all that. Now, are you here to buy something, or just a visit? I'd like to ask you some questions, actually, Fiona. I'm always willing to visit with a friendly customer. What would you like to know? That was such a dick move. Did you have problems with the kobolds? Have you seen anything else about them? Ha! One ran in here and got its brains dashed out by my hammer. And then I threw the corpse outside. That was the last I saw of any kobolds. You wield that hammer like a dwarf. It's no wonder they ran off. Now that's a compliment if I ever heard one. Thank you, Dorna. I must have missed the main body of kobolds as I worked the forge. I hunted around, but they were gone. I guess the one that came in here must have just been a straggler. Is there anything else you wanted to know? This isn't really the time to ask her about herself. So, it would appear that none of the kobolds had actually come into the blacksmith, which was odd. You'd think they'd go after the arms and armaments. Perhaps they truly were just after Master Drogon's and it wasn't an actual town raid. I'd like to see what you have for sale, Fiona. I do hope you mean my inventory, and not my massive bosom. Haha! Sorry, old jokes are the best. Pretending he didn't hear that, Victor would casually begin selling her the items that he had gathered from Drogon. He was sure the old dwarf would forgive him. It wasn't as if the ancient dwarf that had been working as a harper for who knows how long had a lack of funds. It also gave him a bit of time to help organize his things. Don't need these cantrips. Dagger can stay just in case. Keep one extra set of bolts, but I don't need all of them. Don't need any of the other ammunition. Oh, well, what did I just say? Oh, okay, we have plenty. Professional player. everyone. Keep the alchemist fire and usable items just in case. Slad's tongue could be another herbalist thing. I forget exactly what it was, and it doesn't weigh anything, so I'll just keep it just in case. Put that with the dagger just for neatness. I don't believe fire agate can be used. Okay, go with that. Yeah, okay, that'll work. Does she have anything that would be of use for him or Dorna? Well, those might be of use for Dorna. I think we'll save the money just in case we need it for quests. But it's worth noting. And she does have some potions. 30 a pop. We'll wait and see if the herbalist sells them for cheaper. A wave over his shoulder to Fiona before he would head out. Normally, he would put away his crossbow in town, but he felt it was forgivable considering kobolds had just attacked. You never knew when more would pop up. Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. If you enjoy my videos and don't want to miss out on future content, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification button. If you'd like to support me on a more personal level, offer recommendations, chat with me, or vote on future series, then consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. Thank you once again for all your support, and I can't wait to see you in the next chapter of our story.